Alright, let's dive into something that's been bubbling under the surface in the maritime world: South Korea's bold move into large-scale ship recycling. Now, before you think, ship recycling? How exciting can that be? Let me tell you, this is way more fascinating than it sounds. It's not just about dismantling old ships, it's about a global shift in how we handle end-of-life vessels, and South Korea is positioning itself as a major player. So, why does this matter? Well, for starters, the shipping industry is under increasing pressure to go green, and recycling ships responsibly is a huge part of that. But what makes this really interesting is how South Korea is approaching it, with a mix of innovation, strategic partnerships, and a clear eye on the future. Here's the deal: Elegant Exit Company, RM Company, and ISSAC Green Tech have teamed up to create what could become one of Asia's largest ship dismantling hubs. Now, Elegant Exit isn't new to this game. They've already dipped their toes in industrial-scale recycling with a pilot project in Bahrain. But this partnership feels different. RM Company brings their existing recycling operation and coastal scrap logistics network to the table, while ISSAC Green Tech is throwing in floating drydock and automation technology. Personally, I think this combination of expertise is a game-changer. It's not just about scale, it's about doing it smarter and cleaner. What many people don't realize is that ship recycling has been a dirty business, often done in countries with lax environmental and labor standards. South Korea's move signals a shift toward more responsible practices, especially after acceding to the Hong Kong Convention on Ship Recycling. This isn't just about business, it's about setting a new standard. Now, let's zoom out for a second. South Korea isn't alone in this race. Japan's NYK and UNO Development are also making waves with their plans for a recycling operation in Chita, targeting a 2028 startup. Their facility is massive, capable of handling around 300,000 tons a year, or about 20 Panamax ships. What's striking here is how Japan is tackling its higher costs and labor shortages with automation. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a perfect example of how advanced economies are leveraging technology to stay competitive in industries that are traditionally labor-intensive. It's not just about recycling ships, it's about redefining the industry. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. The timing of all this isn't coincidental. The Hong Kong Convention, which sets global standards for environmental and worker safety in ship recycling, entered into force in June 2025. South Korea's accession to the convention last December was a clear signal of their commitment to these standards. In my opinion, this is a strategic move to position themselves as a leader in green ship recycling. It's not just about being compliant, it's about being ahead of the curve. What this really suggests is that we're seeing the beginning of a new era in maritime sustainability, where countries are competing not just on cost, but on responsibility and innovation. One thing that immediately stands out is the contrast between this and the traditional ship recycling hubs in places like India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Those countries have long dominated the industry, but often at a high environmental and human cost. Now, with advanced economies like South Korea and Japan stepping in, the dynamics are shifting. This raises a deeper question: will this lead to a more equitable distribution of recycling work, or will it further marginalize the traditional hubs? Personally, I think it's a bit of both. While it's great to see more responsible practices, we can't ignore the economic impact on countries that rely heavily on this industry. It's a complex issue, and one that deserves more attention. So, what's the bigger picture here? From my perspective, this is part of a broader trend towards sustainability in the maritime industry. Ships are getting greener, from their fuel to their end-of-life management. But it's also about global competition and technological innovation. South Korea's move isn't just about recycling ships, it's about establishing themselves as a leader in a growing market. A detail I find fascinating is how quickly this is all happening. Just a few years ago, ship recycling was a niche topic. Now, it's front and center in discussions about maritime sustainability. It's a reminder of how fast industries can evolve when the stakes are high. As we wrap this up, I'm left with a thought-provoking question: what does this mean for the future of maritime sustainability? Are we on the cusp of a revolution in how we handle end-of-life vessels, or is this just a temporary shift? Personally, I think we're seeing the early stages of a major transformation. The players are changing, the technology is advancing, and the standards are rising. It's an exciting time to be watching this space. So, what do you think? Is South Korea's move a game changer, or just another step in the industry's evolution? Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts.